We're looking at number 18 from 1.4, and we're supposed to determine whether the curve has a tangent line at the given point. In this case, we're talking about the point where x is 3 pi over 4. If the curve does have a tangent there, we're supposed to give the slope, and if it doesn't, we're supposed to tell y. So in the previous questions of this section, we have looked at the difference quotient and the limit as h approaches 0 of f of a plus h minus f of a all over h. And we said since each of these functions are piecewise functions, meaning that we have one rule to the left of the given point and another rule to the right of the given point, that we need to examine the left-hand and right-hand limits to see if this two-sided limit actually exists. But each of the previous three questions all were continuous functions. Number 18 is not the case. Let's take a look at the graph of number 18, and I think this is easy enough that we can do it by hand. I'm going to graph the sine function in the color red, and I have a grid already made here. So we know the sine function begins at 0, 0. It reaches a maximum at pi over 2, 1. It's back down at 0 around pi. At 3 pi over 2, we reach a minimum of -1, and then we're back at 0 at pi. So this graph looks something like this. However, we notice that for this piecewise function, we're only using the sine from 0 to 3 pi over 4. So I'm going to erase that curve, and I'm going to come back and stop around 3 pi over 4 when I begin graphing. So that would be, let's try that again. That would be around here. Then we switch to the cosine rule. So for the cosine graph, we know that we begin at 1 and we travel down to a 0 at pi over 2. We reach a minimum at pi, we're back up to 0 at 3 pi over 2, and then we reach our maximum at 2 pi. However, this rule only applies from 3 pi over 4 to 2 pi. So I'm going to erase that and begin that curve at 3 pi over 4 and finish it the rest of the way. So at 3 pi over 4, we do not have continuity. The limit from the left and the limit from the right are not the same, and continuity's definition is broken. So the answer on number 18 is no, there is not a tangent line, because the function is not continuous at x equals 3 pi over 4. If it's not continuous, you can't have a tangent line, and that's number 18.